Welcome to the Maritime Vision YouTube channel hosted by Paul Louis Holy. In this YouTube channel we engage with industry experts to gain insights into every aspect of the maritime industry. From shipping to yachting and beyond, we explore the latest trends, challenges, and opportunities in this dynamic field.
Welcome everyone, welcome to this new episode. And today I'm with Asit Tapte. I don't know if I pronounced in a good way your name.
Yeah, it is Asit Tapte.
Asit Tapte. Okay, it's an Indian name.
Right, pure Indian.
Okay, great. So can you present yourself?
Hi Paul, good afternoon. My name is Asit Tapte. I'm born in India. I did my education in India. So my education, which was required to go to the sea, the pre-sea education, I did part in India, part in the UK. And after that, I was in the sea for around 12 years. I joined my first ship in 2008 as a trainee officer. And my last rank was as a chief officer on LPG ships, the ships which carry gas. And finally, I said, after I got married and I had a kid, I said enough of the sea, and I want to switch to the shore. And right now I'm doing my master's in maritime economics and logistics at Erasmus University, Rotterdam.
Great, interesting. So we're going to start with the beginning of your background. So you are in India and you studies the merchant navy, in the merchant navy, the Indian Hindustan Institute for Maritime Training. What kind of training did you do to sail on board ship?
So in India, the requirement is you do your high school, and in your high school studies, you need to do you have to take science as a subject, and then you need at least 60% marks in the three branch of sciences: physics, chemistry, and maths. And then after that, you apply to you give a common exam for entrance. So it is conducted because India, there is a big population and lot of states. So you have to give a common exam, entrance exam. And after you get selected based on your ranks, you can select the universities. So usually those guys who get the top ranks, they select the good universities. And in the university, there is 3 years course. There are two courses, depends on which side of ship you want to go. If you want to go on the deck to become an officer, the program is called nautical science. And if you want to go on in the engine side as an engineer, then it is called marine engineering.
It's exactly like in Europe. We have the same organization. Yeah.
Okay, so you will be very familiar with this. So the program which requires to go as engineer is for 4 years, and then you get a bachelor's of engineering degree. And the program which requires you to go on the deck as an officer is for 3 years. And then you get a Bachelor of Science in Nautical Studies degree.
Why did you choose the deck department?
At that time, in my family, there was no one who was from Merchant Navy. So I'm the first one from my family. And I had, to be honest, I didn't have so much of deep knowledge about Merchant Navy. So I met one of my friend, his father is captain. He was captain at that time. So he suggested go for the deck side. You will enjoy it more. So and when you see the movies, you see the captain and you see the officers. You don't see so much of engine guys.
Yes, I agree. It's like Captain Phillips. Do you know this movie?
Yeah, Captain Phillips.
Good movie.
Right, very famous. So you always see the guys like captain and officer. So I saw it. Okay, let's become an officer, and I joined the deck side. Yeah.
So after graduation, you have to find a ship. How it works? Is it easy or is it a difficult process?
In India, usually the thing is, if you are doing it from a good university, the companies come when you're in the final year. They come for something called as campus placement. So the companies come, they interview you, and then they select the candidates. So same was in my case. So Northern Marine, the company which I was working for, they came for campus interview. and I was selected. Five of us was selected for that company, Northern Marine.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll not say it is very difficult, nor very easy. Depends on your marks, how you give the interviews. But I would say 80% of the students, they get selected in this campus recruitment.
Okay, interesting. And it is your first ship?
My first ship was, I still remember the name. It was Stena Concept.
Okay.
It was a product tanker which carried petroleum products like diesel oil and mogas petrol.
Okay. So your position at this time was what position did you have?
It was deck cadet.
Deck cadet. Okay.
Yeah. It's like trainee officer. Yeah.
Okay. So what can you say about this experience? Did you have a misadventure? It was very a good experience? Can you tell us about it? Your first ship.
So the first ship, I still remember everything very clearly because I was very excited to go on the ship. I had never seen a ship. I was never on board a ship. So I went on the ship. First thing I saw on the deck was so many pipelines. Yeah, everywhere was only pipelines. And I said, "Oh, how to work on this ship?" I was very scared at the first time. Then I went inside. I met my chief officer. I met the captain. And slowly, I got used to, all the technical details about the ship. And, when the ship is in the port where I joined, it's tied on the shore. It's not moving. It is very stable. And as soon as we finished our cargo operation in the port, we had to leave. And the ship, when the last rope was removed from the ship started to, like a little bit roll and pitch. And it was very, very interesting and very exciting the first time. Like, then the thought came to my mind, how a ship, such a big ship with so much of steel and metal and cargo is still able to float in the water, not sink.
And that's huge.
Yeah. And then, that was very nice. Then, as a cadet, I got to see so many places, so many countries, see rough weather, see the good weather. It was very, very exciting and also very knowledgeable to learn a lot of things. Okay,
interesting. So it was your first ship. Then what kind of different ships you had in your life? You sailed in your life.
So first ship as a cadet, I was on this product tanker.
Okay.
The second ship as a cadet, I was on an oil tanker.
Okay.
Then again, my last training on a ship as a cadet, I was again on a product tanker. So both as a cadet, I had experience on oil trade, oil and products of oil. So after giving my exam, when I became third officer, first contract as officer, I was on a gas ship. Which was a LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, the gas which we use for cooking in our homes, and the same gas. And after that, mostly I have been on gas ships from third officer. Then I got promoted to second officer again on a gas ship, but various sizes. So initial was a medium size. Then I was on a very large gas carrier. But on the gas ship is a very general term. I carried various cargoes on a gas, which is propane, butane, ethylene, some toxic cargoes like VCM, butadiene, CC4.
Okay.
And I became second officer, then I became chief officer after giving exams. So after I became officer, I was 99% on gas ships.
Okay. What kind of ship do you prefer? And why?
I prefer gas. Because the operations, it is very interesting to me to learn about gas operations. And oil, when you're on an oil ship and a product ship, the operations are a little bit more, tiring. Because there is tank cleaning, and then the cargo is also not clean cargo. You're always worried about oil pollution. But when I shifted to gas ship, it is more, you need to have more of a technical knowledge to work on a gas ship, to know the relation between temperature and pressure.
Okay. So
it's a clean cargo. It will not pollute the sea. I mean, it will go out in the air. It will not pollute. So
not pollute. But the degree of responsibility for you was very high because in this kind of ship you have a lot of measures about security, more than a container ship. Can you tell us about it?
When you compare this tanker trade to a container trade, it's very different because container trade is a very fast-moving logistics trade where everything is very pre-planned, everything has to be on time. But when you come on to this side on a tanker trade, let it be oil, product or gas. So this is not a very, they don't need cargo so quickly like containers.
Okay.
Or mostly for storage and for industrial use. So yeah, the oil trade is very different logistics wise, and as a responsibility is more on oil and gas trade. Because on containers, you are responsible only for the ship. Like you have to take a ship from point A to point B within that time. Because the containers is not your responsibility. I mean, you just have to have a general idea about the containers.
Yes.
But on the oil trade, the cargo is your responsibility. As a chief officer, when I am responsible for my cargo, so I have to make sure that the cargo is at correct temperature, correct pressure. Before loading the cargo, I have to make sure that the tank is properly prepared for the cargo. There cannot be any contamination, because if there is contamination, the whole cargo will be, useless.
Yes, understand. Yeah, like to empty everything and it's a waste of
waste of, I mean, it happened in one of our company ships, like during loading, there was some cross contamination and the whole cargo worth millions of dollars was, just useless. And no one was accepting that cargo. So you cannot just throw the cargo in the sea. That's not allowed by the law. So you have to find other places, discharge a little bit there. It's a very big loss, huge loss, millions of dollars loss.
In this case, what is are you responsible for this? It means that if you have to waste this amount of liquid, do you have like a fine or something bad for your career, or
it's everything is in the legal contract. It is also insured. But as a chief officer, if something like this happens, there is always an investigation. Why this happened? Whose fault was this? Sometimes it can be also from the shore side fault. But most of the time, it's from the ship, some mistake. And after the investigation, if they find that it is your fault, then of course you lose your job. So you will not be working with that company again.
Okay. What is the most stressful things for you as a chief officer?
The most stressful is the cargo operations.
Okay.
The loading and discharging the cargo.
But it's funny because you prefer working in liquid tanker. You have a highest pressure, but you prefer.
Yes, I mean, it is responsibility. Like, it's also exciting.
Yeah.
You get the money, the salary for this responsibility is good. You get well paid for this job.
Or more than if you work in container ship, this is less paid than tanker.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
So container ship, you get less paid. And if you work on a tanker, you get more paid. And the main reason is because the responsibility.
Okay.
So your responsibility is high, of course, but also you get paid for this. So I prefer. And once you are experienced in this, you know what to do, what not to do.
Of course.
Then initially, if you're new, if you come from a container directly to a gas, usually they will not take you. But if you come, then it will be very stressful. But I've been working on this like me. There are so many other people who are like slowly learning this trade, gas trade or oil trade. So then you feel comfortable unless you do something very wrong.
Okay. On the sailing part, so not the cargo part, the sailing part, navigation. What is it? Do you have some things complicated about the weather when you have to maneuver the ship in a narrow port? Even if you have a pilot, I know you have a pilot, but sometimes it can be challenging, isn't it?
Yes, it is. When you're in the open sea, the most challenging part is the weather. So, like we always get weather reports for few days in advance, 1 week in advance, we know. But sometimes you cannot avoid bad weather. So in bad weather, the challenging part is, that ship is built.
Yes.
withstand bad weather. But the thing is your personal side. You cannot work on ship. You cannot sleep properly. You cannot eat properly, because when the ship is rolling and pitching, in the mess room, in the galley, they cannot prepare food.
Yeah, of course.
I mean the fried food where you have to use hot oil. So you have to live on sandwiches or, some dry provision.
It's not funny.
No, not funny. I was once on a ship which was trading between Europe and Canada.
Okay.
And during the winters, this ocean is always rough. And at that time, we used to have 20, 25, 30 degrees rolling. So you cannot sleep also in your cabin. You are constantly like this. You cannot take shower properly.
That's
so, very basic things you feel challenging to do.
And can you tell us about what the worst experience you have in terms of weather at sea?
There are a lot of experiences. Like once the thing which I was mentioning now. So this was a lot of rough weather, bad weather. Ship was continuously rolling for 12, 13 days.
Wow.
So as soon as we used to come out of the English Channel and till we reach Canada, the weather used to be so bad. Continuously 12 days we are rolling. You cannot sleep, cannot eat properly, cannot shower properly.
The meters of waves was how many meters?
It was 4 or 5 meters, if I remember correctly. Sometimes even more. At night you cannot see the waves, but it was and you cannot sleep. And continuously, if you cannot sleep for a few days, you cannot work. You're so tired physically. And then you go to Canada, the temperature, if I tell you, was minus 40.
Well, yeah.
It was minus 40, and if you take a bucket of water outside, you take a cloth, put it in the water, and you take it out, it will become like solid rock solid. So this is very challenging. The weather part is very challenging.
Okay. Yeah. And what is for you the ocean, the place in the world with the seafarers don't like, because it's always bad weather or even dangerous for pirates? What is the worst one?
The worst one in terms of weather is the Pacific Ocean. The name is Pacific, but the weather is not very specified. It's always rough. And also, if you come to this western part of this name I'm not remembering, when you come down from the English Channel near France, that it's always rough.
Oh yeah, I know it's true. It's in the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, Atlantic, and when you come towards France, that part of sea is always rough. You'll find it rough. And with regards to pirates, before, when you're transiting this Suez Canal, that Gulf of Aden area, that used to be pirate prone when in 2008 and 2010 that time. But now that area is now under control. Not so much of piracy, but yeah.
Okay.
These two, weather and piracy, these are two things to worry about.
Okay. So I suppose you travel a lot with this job, and you visited a lot of places. So it was the good part of the job. But some people say now it's worse and worse, the condition of seafarer. You have less, you don't have time to visit sometimes. It's not, is it right?
Yeah, it is right. It is right. If you ask any seafarer, the things how used to be 10, 15 years back, and now it's become very commercialized. It's become very fast. So before, in the old times, when the ship used to go to a port, even an oil tanker maybe used to stay for 3, 4, 5 days. If you go on a bulk carrier, it used to stay for sometimes even months.
Okay.
And at that time, you had a lot of time to go outside, see that city, visit that country. It used to be a relaxing time in port, and less inspections and a lot of things. And nowadays, when you go to port, it's very fast. Everything happens within 2 days, 3 days, max 3 days. Especially the trade where I am in oil and gas. 3 days is max. And in these 3 days, you have port authority coming for inspections. You have some other type of inspection. So busy in the port, Now, I will just give you a very basic thing. In the old times, the seafarers liked to visit port.
Yes.
They were looking forward to go to new ports, because then they'll get to go outside, see the city, meet new people, eat something, enjoy life.
Yes.
In nowadays, it's become opposite. Now, seafarers want to go out at sea. They don't want to go to port.
Oh, okay.
because it is more relaxing and more peaceful at sea, because no one is disturbing you there. And in the port, it will be busy. You are there for 2 days. There will be provisions, inspections, visitors, and so no one wants to go to port. They want to finish port quickly and go out at sea, because there where the good life is, at the sea now.
Okay, I understand.
It's changed completely.
About inspection, can you tell us a little bit how it works? What kind of inspection you have when you? Of course, it depends the kind of ship.
So the first type of inspection we go to a port is a port state inspection, where, for example, I come to Netherlands.
Okay.
Then if they have any doubts, they will come on my ship, the local authorities of Netherlands, to inspect the ship. Then there are other inspections, kind of SIRE, CDI, which is like it can be from the owner side, from the charterer side, and then there is, as per the regulations, you need to have this inspection. So every time you go to a port, if you're doing a long voyage, there is always something, these inspections. And these inspections are not just like coming and checking. I mean, then you get observations, then it's not good for the company. There is pressure on you from the company that you have to do well. No one likes this inspection.
But you have more and more now, because it's become a safety.
More and more complicated. Before was, it was not so much like they will come inspect the ship. I'm talking of few years back, 10 years back. And nowadays, and with recently, I think there is something called as RISQ, the new form of inspection, which is 200 pages, that questionnaire, and you have to go through this. That's why you see people, especially seafarers, they are not happy nowadays,
Okay.
That romantic life, what everyone speaks about, that romantic life at sea it's finished.
It's interesting what you said, because right now we have a big shortage. It's very complicated to find a seafarer. Too many ships, not enough seafarer. But I think why this is like that? Because of the training, because it's a lot of studies, expensive, or it's because the condition of the job?
A few things. Very good question, actually. You raised this question. Very nice. If those who are watching, they will be very would be interested to know. In the olden time, people like to come to the sea. The reason was the life was good. It was not very hectic how it is now, and the money was good. Right? And nowadays, everything is gone bad. The salary is not increasing. If I remember, in our company from past 10 years, there has been hardly very little salary increase in 10 years time. I'm talking about. Okay. And if you are working on a shore, every year you have some increment in salary. In India, at least, we have 8 to 10% increment in salary every year.
Okay.
And that gap has reduced. The difference, still the salary at sea is better. I will not say that it is still better, but the gap between salary on shore and the salary at sea has reduced. So people don't find it interesting to go at sea, because when you go at sea, you miss on a lot of things. You miss your family life. You miss your family life. You miss your friends. You cannot have a lot of all these important festivals or someone's marriage. You miss on all those things, but people were ready to sacrifice those things because the salary was good at sea.
Okay.
And the life was better. But now the salary difference has reduced. People are earning good money on shore. So they say, why should I go to sea and suffer?
Yes.
Where I can earn less money, but I can still be happy on shore.
Yes.
I don't need so much money to be happy. Money is not the only factor now for being happy.
Of course.
One is that. Second is people who are on the ship, they want to quit sea. One is people don't want to go to sea, the new generation. And second is those who are on the sea, they want to quit because of, like we discussed, this inspection, this commercial, fast life. And it's more stressful on the sea, at sea.
Yeah.
So people, they want to quit.
In my country, in France, or even in Europe, the same. The problem with the seafarer is like, firstly, we don't promote the job. We don't. When you are in high school, we always promote business school, medicine, this kind of job, this very famous job. But the job at sea, I didn't have a lot of people I remember in high school coming to explain what
Right.
it is. So firstly, people don't know this kind of job. And secondly, in Europe, training are quite complicated because this is, you can only become an officer, you don't start like a cadet, like in India. So it's always, you need to at least minimum 4 years studies.
Right.
Some people just want to gain experience at sea. They don't want to sail for 5 years,
Yes.
to studies for 5 years.
Yes. Yeah, I agree, because I did my pre-C also in UK. So our professor used to tell us, like in UK, they had also different program for their own nationality people. So they say like their course was also for 3 years. So he used to say in the first year after that, their course was divided. Like you study, you go to sea, then you come back, you study, again you go to sea. So the professor used to say that after the first time people go to sea and come back, half of them used to quit.
Yes. Oh.
The remaining used to quit after second year, and in the third year you would have maybe 20% of what on the first year you have students.
Oh, it's yes.
Because people are not liking to go to sea now. The life there is so hectic, so stressful that money is not justified.
Okay.
People say it's better to earn less but to be happy on shore
Of course.
than to earn more and lose your sleep at sea. The second thing is also companies are doing a lot of cost cutting now. And that cost cutting, they are removing a lot of people from this ship. Like I will say on a gas ship, on a lot of ships, they don't have gas engineer, which is a very important position. Because company thinks it's okay to not have gas engineer. A chief officer can do that job.
Oh, yeah.
And chief officer is doing that job without any additional pay, right?
Yes. Yeah.
They removed the main guy, and so my job has increased, but I am not getting compensated for this job, right?
Okay.
Then why would I? There is no why would I look forward to do this job if I'm not getting anything back? I'm doing more job, it's more hectic, more stressful, and I'm not also paid extra for doing one man's job extra. So all these things, and I think this will be the trend. People slowly will lose interest in the sea.
How can we do to? Because I know maybe in the future ships, I always talk about it. Maybe autonomous, maybe less people on board. Do you think it's a good solution, good idea to plan this kind of thing for the future?
It's a very nice question because I'm doing my thesis in autonomous shipping.
Oh,
yeah. This is very question. I mean, this question is very related to my thesis.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the autonomous thing has started, and that will help. But to implement this autonomous shipping to the worldwide shipping will take a lot of time. So I think it will slowly start with the ships which are doing coastal voyages. Because if you have a ship with such a valuable cargo, you need people on the ship.
Of course.
Maintain that cargo, especially on the gas. I have to cool down the cargo, take care of the pressure and temperature thing. So autonomously, I don't know how much can you do that part of the thing. But yeah, when the autonomous things will come into play, at least in the coastal thing, it will again, the jobs will be lost for sure. But it will help those companies who do not have enough seafarers to go on the ship. Also, the thing is, like, if you see the European countries, the Americans, they don't like to go on long sea voyages. Even in the Netherlands, you will see the Dutch people, they are on the ships which are doing coastal, like the bunker barges or the barges who are close to the coast.
Yes.
So in the open sea, you will have mostly many people from Asia, from
Yes,
Eastern
I noticed Philippines, India.
India.
Yeah.
And also now the thing is the Indians are also not so much interested in going to sea, and it's shifting more eastward. So you have Chinese, Filipinos, those people. And slowly, even they will. And when I speak to my friends, Chinese and Filipinos, they are also fed up. So a lot of them, they also quit. So this problem, what you touched upon, the people required for the sea. I don't know how the companies are, but what happens if you dig deep and you just put people on the ship, then you lose on quality.
Of course, of course.
Yeah. You need quality crew on the ship,
Yeah.
If you just take anyone, I mean, you can find, of course, anyone to come if you give this kind of money, but then will you get that quality crew? This is the question. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So right now you decided to quit your career, so that's why you're doing a master to work ashore. So what kind of position are you looking for after? Do you have an idea about it?
Yeah, I'm after my masters, I've shortlisted few areas. Like I want to work in the commercial side,
Okay, like ship.
or in the yeah. So it will be mostly like a voyage coordinator or voyage planner initially to start with,
Okay,
or in the chartering department.
okay. Those operation officer, something like that.
Yeah, also operations side. Yeah, I'm open to it, and also like I'm interested in the digital side of shipping, like the new technologies which are coming into shipping,
Okay.
like one autonomous and the
You
other.
have, do you know Port Excel? But I think you did an internship with with them.
I'm doing internship with Port Exchange now.
Yeah, which is they promote this kind of company, I suppose.
Yeah.
Accelerator.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They are into this digitalization, and so this new. I'm very interested in the new things which will come into shipping. So that future of shipping, I'm very interested into, like to explore and to find some job in that area. Yeah.
That was this industry is very interesting because in the future we have so many challenges and so
Yes.
many new things more than the last past years and even decades. For the future will be very interesting in shipping. So yeah, if you have the opportunity to work with Port Excel, I think it's a good things for you because everything is about digitization. They promote this kind of company, so it's good things.
Yeah. Port Exchange is doing great work in this area of digitalization and the softwares which they have. The main thing what they're trying to do is do this on time arrival, not early, not late. Just on time arrival, so that you don't waste a lot of fuel. If you have to, if when you have to arrive, you can reduce your speed to echo, and
Yes.
that will help in decarbonization, which is another big worry for the whole of the world. This
Of course.
carbon emissions.
Wait.
So yeah, Port Exchange is doing very intensive work in this field.
Yeah, and about the Netherlands, what do you think about the country? Do you have a lot of maritime opportunities there?
Yes, because this is Europe's biggest port in Rotterdam.
Yeah, of course. But even not Rotterdam, other cities in the Netherlands. I know the market is in the Netherlands. I know it's a very dynamic in terms of maritime. We have so much opportunities. The industry is very big in the Netherlands because in the history the country was the best in terms of like few years before. It's a lot of the fleet was very big in the Netherlands. The Dutch Navy was big. So in the history, this is a country of maritime, I think.
Yes, because you're also doing this course in transport and this thing, so you will know better about this and in depth about this. So yeah, right.
We're doing
New Zealand is very nice.
The same kind of master. It's not just the same university. I think you can looking for the same kind of job after. It's we can do operation parts, sales parts. It depends. It's very large. We have so many different opportunities. But for you, maybe the fact that you sailed on board a ship, you have maybe more opportunities like a surveyor or something, more technical task, I can say.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yes, because of my shipping background, I might be able to, put more of my experience into the job.
Yes.
Like you said, mainly the operations part.
Okay, yeah, operations
part.
Because
I can understand that operations part because I've done that on the ship.
Okay.
So that might be a little bit advantage for me.
So do you want to stay in the Netherlands after your master?
For now, yes, that is my plan. I want to find something here because the industry here is very big. And if I can gain this experience here and then I take it back to India, that would be very, valuable. Yeah. Because India is still not such a big hub like Rotterdam in the shipping industry. So I want to take this experience from there. Yes.
Yeah, but I think in India you have a lot of opportunities for the future, because with
Yes.
the amount of people who say the amount of seafarer, every seafarer right now do the same than you. They want to change their career. They want to work in company, not on board ship. And everyone will come back in India and will try to create something. So I think the future in India will be very interesting for shipping.
Yeah, I hope also. Yeah. That's why. But I want to take this experience so that I can make some change in India also. Yes.
Yeah, it's a good things. So yes, I want to ask you a last question. This very common question I ask to everyone: what is your favorite place in the world?
Oh. I mean, on a ship, I've been to so many places, but the country where I live is the best. Always.
Don't say India, because
yeah, so that is very obvious. Yeah. But I like Netherlands, to be very honest. You will think I'm here, that's why I'm talking about this, but no. I'm really liking here. Why? Because the people here are very friendly, and very helpful, I see. And they are very genuine.
Yes.
This I feel, I mean, they're not fake. These people here are very genuine people, the Dutch people. So I'm liking to live here. So far, it's been very nice experience.
Okay.
And
Okay, good. Good.
Rotterdam.
good answer. Yeah.
I mean, this is really I'm liking. Like, I've been to a lot of places. Also, like East. If I go to Asia side, like India and that side, I like that area more because of warm weather and food.
Yeah.
But in general, I'm liking Netherlands. Especially the reason is because of people here. I like these people.
People is a very important thing when you go to a country. So thank you, Asit, for this interview. It was very interesting, and I think people will love what you said. They will be very focused to listening your background, what you said, because it was very relevant. So thank you again. And
thank you, Paul. It was nice to have a conversation with you. It was
completely the same. So have a nice day, and maybe see you in Rotterdam.
Yeah, and wish you all the best also, and hopefully after we get a job, we'll meet again somewhere.
For sure.
The world is very small.
For sure. All the best. Have a nice day. Bye.
You too, have a good day. Thank you.